And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally...
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Tuesday. It is, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, dude. Like you said, it's Tuesday, Subway Series. Let's freaking go, dude. It's business, all right?
A day closer to the opening tee shots at Carnoustie Golf Links as well.
That's true,
a day
dude.
Closer to the first tee shot at Augusta National. Obviously, a little ways away from that. But I digress, right?
Right. No, yeah. Augusta is a whiles away. But come on, man. We got Subway Series.
No, I know.
Come on.
I like having it all, though.
No,
all at the same time.
Doesn't everyone, dude?
Exactly. So much to get to, but we've had a lot of chatter pre-show. So why don't we just start with that?
I know, early and often, and wouldn't you know who started the chatter off? It was you, Brian.
Wow,
breaking
news.
Aaron Rodgers, biggest chief of all time. Do you want to elaborate now or get to the comments?
You know, let's just skip around first. So go to Josh B's after this, and then I'll talk about it. So go down.
All right, so let's go see Josh B. He says, obviously, yo, fam, happy Tuesday. Let's have a day. Hashtag TCH DTV. You know the deal. And then there's breaking. I don't give a fuck what Aaron does off the field. Caring about what he does off the field is chief. Love you, B. LOL.
And, you know, I agree with that. I definitely do. I think the whole thing for me is, honestly, I know how great Aaron Rodgers is. Honestly, I know he's one of the best quarterbacks ever, like most talented. But is it just me, Tony, or does he get a break for, besides the Super Bowl he won, all the other years? Does he get a break on that? Because I feel like he's come up more than just a little short. It's been short by a couple football fields in terms of winning and accomplishments.
Yeah, definitely, dude. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get where Josh is coming from, but I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. I think what you do off the field is as important. I mean, and there's a reason for that. Like, I mean, not for nothing. Like, this is his job, right? You know, like, I understand, you know, he gets paid a lot of money. It's a tough job. It's talk about the physical, you know, toll it takes on your body, but obviously the stress levels, whatever, dude. It's hard to do. Not anyone could do it. That's why he gets paid a lot of money, but that's also why he should conduct himself that, you know, positively reflects, the Jets organization or whoever he plays for, really. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, like, I don't know, dude. I'm assuming you're talking about him on Barstool podcast, talking about shrooms and shit. Like, is that why he's chief, or is it the whole Egypt? It's just everything. Like, why did that come up?
He said that it was misconstrued that he missed minicamp, and it's like, no, you missed minicamp. You just think you could do like.
Well, yeah, I don't understand.
He's saying like, oh, it's just part of all the OTAs, you know, over the course of the off season, like, but it was a specific Jet minicamp. He wasn't there. He had his prior commitment. The Jets talked about it, whatever. And it's not that big of a deal, but it's just the point that he always has to like do something like that. And it's right. Like, you could say whatever you want. You have the right to do this. You have the right to do that. Well, also, your time here is limited. You missed the whole season last year. You want to make the most of it. Why wouldn't you put in as much work as possible in the offseason? Like, it's like he could spin it whatever he wants, but that's a fact. You want to put in as much work this offseason as possible to prepare yourself for this season. And so it annoys me because he does that. And then, listen, part of it is because it's the Jets, but also, like I was saying before, it's because it's him. I think the combination of both, like, I feel pretty confident that there's not going to be a championship for the Jets this year. So it's like he's going to do all this, the sideshow, and then what are we going to get out of it?
Yeah, and you know, in terms of too, keeping your focus. I mean, he hasn't won anything for the Jets yet. You know, like, he's talking about how he has to stay, you know, level-headed, keep his mind clear, whatever. You didn't fucking play for a whole season, bud. You know, like,
And you haven't won a Super Bowl going on 13 years.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know, man. Like, where is your focus? Like, it does
Right.
seem that he is selfish. He's not dialed in.
No.
And I mean, listen, in this day and age, like, yeah, dude, like you're the face of an organization. You're on blast constantly. You know, like it's a social media age. Like, there is no kind of privacy. People said you were missing. They figured out where you were. It was a big story at the time. And the fact that you didn't disclose it made it an even bigger story, because there was like a mystery hunt for Rodgers for like 3 days, you know? So I think he does an absolute terrible job with the media, and his image, I think, is certainly tarnished because of it.
Yeah. And listen, full transparency, if he does do the unthinkable and lead the Jets to the Super Bowl this year, then I will completely sing a different tune.
Right, of
and
course.
completely take back all of that. But I just think, based on what he's done recently, I don't think he's backing up the way that he's acting. That's just kind of my thought.
He's not at all.
So I mean, do I want to be optimistic and see what happens? Sure. I hope it's an exciting season. I hope it's a fun season. One thing I had to ask you, we're not going to spend too much time on football today, but just with the Jets and, the whole idea of bringing Rodgers here in the first place, that was to of course win the Super Bowl. Now, because it's been literally 13 years, so it's kind of ironic. It's been 14 years, so 1 year longer. But, Rodgers hasn't won in 13. The Jets haven't been to the playoffs in 14. Does making the playoffs but not winning the Super Bowl, I mean, does that do anything for this organization? Or is it only do something if he's coming back next season? And I know we're looking very ahead here, but I'm just saying, is that any sense of accomplishment as far as the way you look at it?
I mean, dude, if he doesn't come back, if he does lead you to the playoffs, you do lose. He doesn't come back. No.
Right.
But if he does, then yes, step in that direction.
As like a
he stayed healthy. Like, he was successful.
But you're going to rely on a quarterback in his early 40s to stay healthy again. That's why I just it's almost like with the Yankees this year. It's like you kind of have to win. And I just feel like these are the Yankees. You feel like they make a couple moves. That is a pretty good possibility.
Right.
But for the Jets, just based solely on their competition, it's kind of tough for me to see them pulling that off. I guess, we'll see what it looks like. And sure, in theory, the defense has been so good the last couple of years. So if you did have a competent offense, you should be one of the best teams in the league. But I just feel like the one thing we've learned with the Jets over the years is you never assume one damn thing, Tony.
Yeah, dude. And like you said, it's going to be so competitive out there. I feel like this year specifically.
Yeah.
Freaking jacked up, honestly, for football.
Football's going to be great. I think, is there a preseason game like next week? I thought I saw somebody say that.
Really? Like, I thought they don't start up until August. I guess that it kind of is next week, I suppose.
But that's
Holy shit.
I feel like that's not right. Somebody said that, but it's like, there's no way. Just do Hall of Fame.
Who's somebody?
I don't know. It was on Twitter, but just say 2024 Hall of Fame game.
August 1st.
Okay, so okay. I think they said a week from Thursday. That makes sense. Obviously,
that would be August 1st.
Yeah,
there we go.
But that still almost seems too close. But obviously, gives us a sense of how close we really are.
Oh yeah.
And just kind of putting something in there that he had some other comments. But we've got to get to Matthew first. But just saying, Matthew Ryan, since it had to do with this, he says Aaron Rodgers is better than Zach Wilson. I'm confident. Very true. Very true. Obviously, staying healthy is a big thing.
I mean, I was gonna say Wilson's numbers last year were better.
Let's get to Matthew's comments.
Matthew Gabriel here, or you want Matthew Ryan? Matthew Gabriel all the way at the top here. Matthew Gabriel says, "Let's go." What did Rodgers do? Already covered that. Barnes, weather tomorrow making him nervous, but it's going to be all clear. I think it's not supposed to rain until like late tomorrow.
I mean, it always changes, but I just looked at it now and I actually commented here, or actually no, it's a little ways down. But it was saying like for the Bronx, there's a less than 0.05 like amount of rain at 9 a.m. You would think that would clear by first pitch. But and then I'm saying about the hourly, the rain in the newspaper. And I've talked about this before, and it's not like just in general, I feel like so many people do this. I feel like people with the weather, like they don't do their due diligence. They look at the paper, they hear on the news like days before, or they just see that little graph with the percentage. But how many times does it say the percentage in the graph? It's overnight rain.
Yeah. No, literally.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah. And it just seems like that's not changing anytime soon.
Yeah,
Is it laziness?
No, I don't know, dude. I mean, I guess so. Honestly, you seem to be really the first person I ever met that really like
But
dives into the weather here.
So you used to get fooled by that.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you? I use Apple Weather.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes
weather?
it changes.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's pretty good. And but since I've started saying that, now do you go hourly? If it's something outside that you're really going to a game, do you check the hourly? No.
Absolutely no, yeah.
And you did it before, I mentioned.
Yeah, no, not really.
But it makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense.
Like if you're going to the Mets game tonight, hypothetically, you would have checked the app like 5 times by now.
Oh, literally.
Just to make sure.
Just make sure. Do I want a little rain jacket? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. What else we got for Matthew? Come on.
He says, yes, we're good. Check the hourly. He says, come on. Did you walk the dog?
No, we always just crack up because like when I used to come over back in the day when he had his dog Sammy, like his dad would always ask him, "You walk the dog?" Come on.
And then Matthew Ryan, we know the deal. Yankees won, and we'll kick the Mets.
Let's go, Matthew Ryan.
Tony, Mets suck. He says.
Let's
go. Dominate.
Let's go.
We'll see, dude. It's 2 games. It's anybody's game. We know how the first series went. And then we got Josh B complaining about work. Says it sucks, dude.
Is that everybody?
What?
Not everybody, but most of America.
Oh,
Tony?
yeah. I feel like most of America does,
90?
dude. I mean, is anybody really happy anymore?
Would you say 90 is like not aggressive enough of a number?
I would say kind of spot on. It probably is like maybe 91.2%. Oh my gosh. Yanks won Chad Greenback.
And I was gonna say, and I know Josh commented about this, but I love the idea, Matthew, and I understand because I know I already saw a sneak peek of what Josh said. I get it because there was a couple times, and you think about that whole like playoff scenario with the Guardians, the ball hitting the bat, Girardi not challenging the Grand Slam, all of that. But I just think in terms of a veteran reliever who's been here before, we don't need him to be the closer. I love his versatility. I love he could pitch 2, maybe even 3 innings. He could come in the 5th inning. I am fully on board with Chad Green. And I know Tony, and we've talked about this a million times, but going back to that Mets game, the 3-inning save, you've always liked Chad Green.
Oh, yeah, of course, dude. And I remember even, playing like, MLB back in the day, Chad Green. It was sick, dude.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So, yes, let's get Chad Green. And I don't think it'll cost an arm and a leg, so I am all for it.
Don't think so. And it seems like Josh B doesn't think it will be of anything because he says bringing him back is whatever. And then he says he wishes Loizaga was healthy. That's who should have been our closer. Damn injuries.
But don't you think, though, he's downplaying Green a little bit? I just feel like value of a guy who could be shut down for multiple innings out of the bullpen. How is that whatever?
Yeah, I think so. And he even says here it's not going to make that much of an impact.
But I don't
know. I think it kind of will, dude.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, maybe, it's, obviously a double-sided coin here. It could go either way. But I feel like I would have more confidence in Green, adding to the bullpen than hurting the team,
Yeah, he's not hurting the team. No way.
I don't know. Josh B seems like maybe he didn't get enough sleep or something. Enough coffee. Work sucks. Yankees. Rogers doesn't care.
I mean, Chad Green, 7 years as a Yankee. Had some starts mixed in there as well. I guess 24 starts, 272 appearances. I mean, 3.17 ERA. And he had 494 strikeouts, 383 in 2/3 innings. I mean, I'm all for that. I think he was solid. And like I said, I know sometimes he would give up the home run ball. I understand that. And of course, he missed a lot of time the last couple of years with injury, but this year he's been dialed in. I mean, in ERA sub 2, 24 strikeouts, 28 and 2/3 innings. I mean, I guess you want to point to 5 home runs in 28 and 2/3. So he can serve it up. But nobody's perfect. And I just like the fact that, like I said, that we don't need him to, be our closer. I think he's as good as you can get in the 5th and 6th inning.
Yeah, I think so, dude. But I see where Josh is coming from with Loizaga. It would imagine if he was healthy, that would be sick, dude.
Oh, and it's funny. Not that it's actually funny, but more ironic, I guess is the right term, Tony. I play MLB The Show. My franchise started a while ago. I'm like almost caught up to actually where we are in the season. I've played every game. And I use Loizaga all the time. His stuff is nasty. The slurve, the sinker. But the thing is, he's shown that we can't rely on him. He's actually going to be 30 in the fall. And last year, I mean, he's made 20 appearances. So obviously has not been able to stay healthy. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that he's not even going to come back. Oh, yeah. So it was a torn UCL. I wonder actually what the initial timeline on this was, but torn UCL, even though it was in April, I mean, that's usually the All-Star break next year.
Yeah, dude.
But torn UCL, is that? Oh, it is yet to be determined if it was Tommy John. That's
interesting. Really?
Well, that was back then. 10 to 12 months. 10 to 12 months. So, okay. So there's a chance he's ready. But again, after multiple injuries like this, I mean, how could you really rely on that he would be healthy after that?
Yeah, no, you can't.
Okay, no, you have that. I was just looking baseball reference with the arbitration situation.
Arbitration, dude. He signed through 2024. It looks like
free agent. Oh, so he's a free agent next year. So he's never pitching for the Yankees again. Because it's literally the same scenario as Chad Green, except he could be ready. But the fact that he's been injured, history shows they're not going to resign him.
They're not going to resign him.
But did they make that mistake with Chad Green? Should they have resigned him? I mean, I guess the bullpen's okay, but we have a lot of journeymen. Like, I feel like I want some more established guys in the pen.
I suppose so. I mean, Chad Green would have been your established guy, but still, I mean, who knows what he would have been like here with injuries too. You probably would be sitting in the same boat, honestly.
And when you look at our bullpen, I mean, Clay, has been hit and miss. Obviously, overall, he's decent. But do you think it's more imperative to get a different closer or just a really good setup guy?
It's a great question. I mean, to that question, I would probably ask you, I mean, how much confidence you have in Holmes being a setup man? Is it the pressure, why he's kind of wavering, or like, what is it?
No, I would feel good about him being a setup man.
Right.
And I mean, I think he just gets into trouble when he doesn't have command. I mean, which I guess said every pitcher that's ever pitched in the majors. But
I mean, is it like when he comes in the ninth and it's a 1-run lead that they have? Like, is he sweating, or is it like
he's not sweating like Chapman?
Well, no, I'm saying like, is it more of a mechanical issue that he needs to fix, or is it like literally a mental issue?
No,
because if it's a mental issue, he can be the setup man and then go get a closer.
Yeah, well, I guess it's also hard to say because we haven't seen him be a setup guy in a while.
Right.
So
I don't know. I mean, it depends on how he would react, but if I don't know, if he becomes like utter useless almost, if you put him down as a setup man, he's still not good.
But I just I've already mentioned this. Like, I just want to see us go all out, get Chad Green, and also get Mason Miller or Michael Kopech, like make it a super bullpen. A lot of talks about getting a starter.
Yes,
and
dude.
You have
I forget who Kay was
Clark
talking about yesterday.
Schmidt coming back next month.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it, Tony, because I think the bats and the bullpen are more important than the starting pitcher. I think your starting rotation in the playoffs with Garrett Cole, with Carlos Rodon, with Luis Gil, and then, either Schmidt, Cortez, or Stroman as your fourth starter. I mean, I think you're fine. Why do you really need another starter?
Well, I mean, if it comes down to getting one or the other, I think bullpen piece, because I don't know. I mean, I would be willing to bet Rodon comes around. Great performance last night. We know what Cole can do. We know Stroman's going to be probably solid too.
It's probably Stroman.
Yeah,
probably is Stroman as the fourth starter in the playoffs.
Exactly. So, I mean, do you? No, not really. But again, I mean, if you don't, I don't know. I mean, if the Yankees have like, I don't know, if their stock in Stroman is wavering or even Gil, I would say it would be worth to get another starter.
Well, I just think though, what about? I mean, are we just saying Nestor can't do it? I mean, I'm kind of saying that. I guess. He's kind of a fifth starter at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe he can prove himself. Probably won't. Clark can pitch out of the bullpen. Great long reliever. So I mean, I kind of like how I just laid it out.
Right.
I think that's fine.
I would be willing to bet that rotation is worthy, of going to the World Series. But I mean, let's say if the Yankees were going to go out, they said that we want to get two pitchers.
Like, starting pitchers?
No. Two pitchers, like, and they want to do like one starter, one bullpen piece. Like, would you be happy with that? Or would you rather get two bullpens?
Yeah. And a hitter overall.
Right. No, of course.
Second or third baseman.
Do you think at the end of the day, that's what they're going to go after? 3 players.
I think they don't get the starter. I think they get a second or third baseman, and then they probably get either one pretty good reliever or 2 average relievers or 3 average relievers, which I could see it going more down. Because I mean, they look at their track record, but I don't know. What do you think? Are they getting too cute with the journeyman? Because I mean, it's every guy that they bring in: Tim Hill, Luke Weaver, Michael Tonkin.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, some of it is
Jake
working
Cousins
out
as well.
Oh yeah. Well,
or is it Steve Cousins? I think it's Jake, isn't it? I think it's Jake.
Trying to think. Kirk Cousins is in my head right now. I want to say it's Jake.
It is Jake.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins, what a bum. Anyway, dude.
Rich one.
What? A rich bum?
Yeah.
No, yeah, he's a wealthy bum. I'll give him that. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know. You want to talk about having that electricity around a trade deadline piece. Yeah, a younger closer would be great. If they do get these, I can just see you coming in the day after deadline, the bargain bin hunting with these older relievers. I mean, it doesn't work out. I see the Mets trying to do that too. That doesn't work. It doesn't really work out. Robertson, I guess, was good. Yeah, but
but speaking of Robertson, that I would love to get him back.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's like you're going down memory lane. I get it, but Robertson and Green, second baseman. I mean, are you not all set?
I mean, I like Robertson.
Yeah,
I think
and then
he's pitched last time at Miami, right?
No, for the Rangers, but I think he might have given up runs if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Because I do have him for fantasy. But yeah, like I said, I know it's memory lane. And then even if it was Jazz Chisholm, Tony, I know I get the skepticism.
Yeah.
But I think he would provide a little punch, though, which I like.
No, yeah, I definitely, and he's got a good attitude. I feel like him and Soto and Judge, those guys, I think would jive well together. Honestly.
Yeah. So I mean, we kind of have the groundwork laid out here. It'll be interesting to see what they do. And Robertson did not give up a run last night, actually. Pitched a scoreless inning. His stats for the year: 64 strikeouts, a 3.16 earned run average, and only 1 save. Whip under 1. And it'll be interesting to see what Texas will do. Do you think they sell?
Texas?
Yeah.
I
mean, I think as tempting as it is to add, I know you have DeGrom come, but I don't know. Like, why not just get some prospects in there? And especially, like, what are you hanging on to David Robertson for?
Yeah, true.
I mean, I just don't think. I know it's possible, but I don't think they can make the playoffs.
I mean, yeah, it's tough. They're gonna have to obviously go on a run
for the ages.
Literally,
4 under 500 right now.
They're 4 under. Oh. I mean, I don't know, dude. I feel like again, they could. I mean, how much freaking stock are you putting in DeGrom trying to come back?
Yeah, Scherzer probably is gonna get hurt again.
Literally, dude. Like, I know he kind of made it through the playoffs last year, but that was it. I think that was like all the juice he was squeezing out. Even though he's had some bright spots this year, but I don't know, dude. I mean,
4 games out in their division, though. That's the only thing.
Which is kind of crazy how that division is.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. I mean, that team sacrificed a lot to get pieces last year at the deadline to become, obviously a World Series contending team. But I don't know if they really have it in them to come back like this, dude. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, last year they were set up really well from the start.
It's 4 games out. I mean, I guess it really depends in this week leading up to the trade deadline.
Yeah,
how they play. Because, I mean, you're that close, and especially, let's say they win their next 3 games. They obviously won last night. We might be having a different conversation.
Yeah, no, you're probably right. They're that on the cusp team, but I don't know, man. For me, just watching and see what they've been doing, I don't think they have enough. Like, their offense hasn't been as great as last year.
Every player literally is having a down year, right?
Yeah, almost every. Yeah.
I mean, who's having a great year, Tony?
I mean, I guess third baseman Josh Smith. Batting 280 is hitting for contact. But no one's like killing the home run ball. I mean, Corey Seager,
Marcus Semien, and Adolis Garcia, terrible.
Oh my God, terrible, dude. Yeah. Jordan Heim definitely compared to last year, not doing as well either. I feel like everyone on the Rangers last year was batting 300, like the whole year almost. I mean, Travis Jankowski, dude, DH position. Not good.
What's your guess? I just pulled this up. By the way, David Robertson, a $7 million mutual option. So both the team and him would have to agree on that for next year. Otherwise, they owe him $1.5 million. Basically, they have an option for $5.5 million. You look at it that way.
Yeah.
But take a guess David Robertson, career earnings.
Career earnings?
40 years old next season. 39 right now.
40 years old next season. What year was he drafted by the Yankees? Do you know?
He was drafted by the Yankees out of the University of Alabama, Tony. 17th round in 06.
Jesus, okay. And made his major league debut when?
His major league debut was in 2009.
Wow. Oh, wow. What a year, huh?
Or technically 2008.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, geez, dude. Career earnings. I mean, are you asking me because it's crazy high or crazy low?
I'm just asking you.
Damn it. So let's see, 09, it's 2024. It's about 15 years, let's say. $70 million?
103 million.
Really?
Yeah. Pretty good, right?
Good for him. Yeah. Dude.
So
that's really
that's
good.
Grinding out a career,
Yeah,
multi-time champion. So you love to see that.
You do love to see that. Good for him, dude.
It was robbed of the third one in 2017, but we could talk about that forever, ever, and ever. Couple more comments here. Matthew says he agrees, doesn't move the needle, and then he says legends. So you love to hear that out of Michael.
Absolutely,
legend
dude.
Himself.
Of course, dude. The man, the myth, the legend. Dude.
The legend.
Surprised Matthew, though. I feel like he would have been like hyped for Green.
Yeah. I mean, but maybe it's just because like me, he's thinking that
all right, Josh.
There are too many holes on this team. But maybe just like me, just thinking about the offense. But also, Josh, I mean, I don't know.
Is there?
I think he's overdoing it. Like I said, I think you can live with a second or third baseman and two relievers. And then I don't see the holes you speak of past that. And then yes, I know you could get a second and third baseman. But I think you could work with what you have on that. Peraza is another option as well. And if we have to call our friends on the other side of town to complete the Victor Gonzalez for Jose Iglesias trade.
Dude, his first triple of the year yesterday.
I did actually pick him up in one of my leagues just while he's
hot.
Dude. Another grizzled vet. He's I'm not expecting him to sustain it, but while he's hot, Whatever. But anyway, I mean, we've already talked about it for about a half hour, but let's officially go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So listen. Obviously, as Josh B says, I mean, alludes to, maybe if you want to say instead of holes on this team, things to clean up, things to prove. But at the end of the day, all of us Yankee fans were happy to get a win yesterday because wins have been tough to get by, tough to come by. And, we won 9-1, hitting 5 home runs. So I don't remember the last time I said a sentence like that. Picking up our 60th win of the year, finally, over Tampa here. Carlos Rodon, easily his best performance of the year. 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. And the only blemish, a home run allowed to Siri in the 5th. Siri just seems to be one of those guys that does well against the Yankees, specifically at Yankee Stadium. Like a Rosarena, like Devers, like Guerrero. The list is a little too long for my taste, but it was really nice to get that win and to get 15 hits on offense. Haven't seen that much of recent either. Zach Littell staying true to his numbers, getting hammered yesterday, Tony. 5 2/3, 9 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, and 3 home runs allowed. How did we get to 9-1? Well, it started with a John Sterling belly-to-belly special. Austin Wells and Anthony Volpe hitting back-to-back solo shots in the second. That gave the Yankees a 2-0 lead. And then just a quick pause there, Tony. We've talked about for a very long period of time here, Yankees getting anywhere,
Right.
going to need production from other guys. Would you say that these two are up there for candidates to be the most likely to make that impact, that have a chance to do something and really produce a lot more than they have up to this point?
Volpe and Austin Wells.
Yeah,
I think so. I mean, again, you want to look at the lineup. We talked about it yesterday too. A guy who's probably most likely to bounce back. Volpe, we've seen what he's capable of. Again, that kid, I feel like if he tastes like playoff baseball, he's going to be like absolutely raking.
Like a legend.
Literally, dude. And you saw a little bit of it, last night, obviously doing better at the bat. I think he had a stolen bag last night as well, right?
Game before.
Caught
stealing yesterday, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
But he's getting out there. He's using his legs, dude. I'm telling you, he's starting to get out of this rut. He's going to be more of an impact player in this lineup.
And then Austin Wells. I've seen the signs of life recently.
This is the stash.
3 for 5 yesterday. I mean, it has to be the power of the stash. But he's up to 7 home runs. I mean, would it be that crazy to see him end up hitting around 20? I mean, he's going to be catching full time with the Trevino injury here. And it just seems like he's getting comfortable. And I think the big thing is he wasn't getting the consistent at bats. Now he is. Now he's producing. Now he's batting cleanup. But that's what gets me excited here. I think well over anybody else in this lineup, those two give us our best chance at having a consistent offense. Younger players, players that were first-round picks from our organization, and it's nice to see them playing every day. So you love to see that. We go on to the 4th inning here. Oswaldo Cabrera, who's been very quiet of recent, single to right, scoring Judge and Wells. So that made it 4-0. You get the Siri homer in the 5th to make it 4-1. But DJ LeMahieu, his first home run since September, Tony, 368
Crazy.
To left. Will he hit another this season?
I would probably bet yes. Okay,
but not. I mean, September's a long time. From now. So
what do you think the odds are for one more this season? One more home run. The rest of the
probably season? Plus 9,000. I think. So yeah, that made it 5-1, and it was really cruise control from that point on. Juan Soto homering in the 7th and the 8th, an upper deck shot. On his first one, that was quite the home run from Soto. And then to do it again in the 8th with 2 on to make the score 9-1. You get nice clean innings from Canely and Cousins, Tony. And the Yankees are victorious here.
Yeah, dude, that was obviously a huge win with 15 hits, you said, right?
15 hits, 9 runs.
Kind of like literally exactly what the doctor ordered here for the Yankees. Kind of getting a lot of players, the whole team really getting that monkey off their back. You mentioning DJ first home run in 2 months. I think for Volpe it was too, right?
Yeah, he hasn't homered in a long time.
Hasn't homered in a while. Like I said, getting those monkeys off their backs for these individual players, obviously, led to this huge team win. Soto, the two different home runs, the bombs, dude. Yeah. Obviously, definitely, I think jumpstart a lot of offense here too. And I feel like too in this series, Tampa Bay with the strutting and the stare downs and the looks. I mean, I feel like a lot of it was kind of starting to boil over, and I think that's why you saw such an uptick in this in some offense. It seems like Yankees kind of woke up a little bit at the plate. Rightfully so, because like we talked about them obviously not getting off to the right foot here first, start the second half. But I mean, this is exactly what you want coming into what looks like to me, one of the more important Subway series in recent years. I don't know about you, but I feel like Subway Series had, past, 5-8 years hasn't really been meaningful for these two teams. But right now, I mean, both teams really need these wins. So let's go. I think it sets up for a tremendous storyline today. And then obviously Rodon, again, another player getting a monkey off his back. I think it was first win in 2 months for him too.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. It seems like just like how all these players went into their slumps, they all seem to be coming out at the same time too. which is obviously great for the Yankees because it seems like for these last 2 months, every player has been doing terrible. But hey, man, you got to be pretty stoked, Brian, right?
I swear I like almost forgot what a recap in a conversation like this was, Tony. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Even though, I'm still thinking big picture,
Right.
and the inexcusable performance over the last, month plus prior to this. But I mean, I just feel like there definitely have been like better signs. So I do like to see that. And I just think too, and I've mentioned to you this before, I know both things play a part, when we're talking about pitching and offense, but I keep hammering it home, but I feel like it's on the offense. I think the pitching feeds off the offense, and it's just like 1, 2, 3 innings, 4 or 5 innings in a row to start the game. The pitcher really stresses out, and I just feel like you get a home run or two, second, third inning, the pitcher pitches with a lot more ease, Tony.
I mean, yeah, of course, dude. Especially, again, for a pitcher like Rodon who's been struggling. I mean, to have that support earlier on, like you mentioned, the back-to-back home runs came in the bottom of the second. I mean, of course, it's going to jack up Rodon. That's going to take some pressure off, and that's exactly what he needed. Obviously, that's why you see such a great line there from him. I mean, 10 Ks. Geez, when was the last time I've seen that from him?
Right.
So
yeah, I think he's important, and I think he feeds off of it, and I just love to see that. And I know too, like going into this series, you said, we want 3 out of 4. But when you go game by game here and going into yesterday, and I had mentioned to you, usually these 1:00 games, the 4th game of a series, I don't think their record is that strong. I mean, it is one game, like Kev alludes to, but the Mets still suck, Kev, so don't get too excited. But I just think there is a completely different feeling, Tony, in all seriousness, winning yesterday versus if you lost yesterday, because I feel like now you have a little confidence, and it's not like you lost another series. You had a good performance yesterday, and you have an opportunity tonight and tomorrow to get revenge on the Mets for last month.
Yeah, dude. I mean, again, I think it is perfect timing. I mean, you end up splitting the series, which again, salvaging that split.
Yeah.
But I mean, if Littell went out there and he fanned like 11 Yankees,
God. I mean, the sky is falling. It's over.
Literally.
That's what it feels like. But also too, I really think like the a big part of what happens moving forward does, like you alluded to, Tony, fall on what happens these 2 games. We cannot lose. No, I swear to God, we cannot lose. There's no excuse. And I fully expect that this to be the turning point, because I think guys are fired up. And it's like, listen, we got embarrassed by the Mets last time, and Heel and Cole specifically got hammered last time at Citi Field. So I think they're going to be jacked up for sure. And me and Matt were talking about it yesterday. We're pumped that we get to see Cole tomorrow. Seems like he's really settled in now. I've seen Heel a couple of times. Unfortunately, I was on the wrong end of it when he got like the 4 outs against the Orioles and gave up 7 runs. However, it does seem like he's turned the corner. He's back to where he was earlier in the year. So I think things are setting up well, and also to take it a step further in terms of numbers. And, I talked about Wells looking more confident at the plate, Tony. Last 20 games, 5 homers, 11 RBIs, hitting .269 with an OPS of .974. You get that out of your catching position, that really lengthens the lineup. Lightning in a bottle, Tony.
Yes, no, it does, dude. And like you said, I think this is going to be a tremendous Subway series. There may be some stare downs, some anger tomorrow, dude.
I really hope that there is. I hope Cole Lindor right in the head. He's okay, but just right in the head first pitch.
I'm honestly, I'm a little worried for Zach at the game today. Not gonna lie, dude. I told him, he asked me if he should wear his Mets jersey. I said yes.
Yeah, but you know what? I have to say, and it just maybe because we're just more classy, more respect than like Boston. Boston fans, but I have noticed too, like when they come in, vice versa. Like the Yankee fan isn't gonna like be ridiculous to the opposition. Like we're gonna, shout for our team, this and that.
Right.
But what I've seen in Boston, every time I'm there, the chirps are never ending. Completely classless fan base, honestly. So I think he'll be just fine for Yankees Mets.
We're gonna ask Zach about this too when he gets back. But he was telling me the story yesterday. He was like, I don't know, like 10 years old. This is like 08, 09. Yankee Red Sox game he went to with his dad in the bathroom. Literally watched 3 Yankee fans pick up this guy in a Red Sox jersey and threw them out of the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously insane.
Yeah, dude, that is insane. Oh my god, dude, I feel like obviously the rivalry dissipated a little bit here, but I feel like, oh man, dude, like that like 2010, 09, like the early 2010s, that Red Sox Yankees rivalry was freaking nuts.
Yeah,
dude.
well, and really, I mean, going back further, and of course, unfortunately, they weren't good years for us, but 03 and 04.
Right.
I mean, talk about the height of it: Pedro, Manny, A-Rod, Jeter. You know, I mean, it was quite the time. That's for sure. But hoping to relinquish that with the the Mets and the Red Sox, and I think, like we said, this is going to be a big series. One other note too, Anthony Volpe. Last 4 games hitting .429 with a homer and 4 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. So hopefully he's coming out of it, because the previous 28 days, 22 games, he had been hitting .178. So
wow,
that's the key. It's the youth, and it's 2 guys too. And the reason why I feel optimistic, Tony, is like, I know they've had their fair share of struggles, but they're guys, like I said, first round picks of the organization. The expectations have always been there. And you just felt at some point, they were going to figure it out.
Yeah, and I mean, no time like the present. I feel like
I
feel like Brian Barnaby was waiting maybe a little too long for them to figure it out.
It was waiting too long, yes, but it just I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe this whole season has made me feel delirious, but it just feels like now, like, all that stuff is just done and over with, and especially because we were embarrassed by the Mets of all teams.
I just feel angst
that we're not backing down. Like I'm so ready for war, Tony. I'm not kidding. Like, so ready for all the Mets fans to shut the fuck up, including the one, the only Kev Do, who says, "Let's go. We want the smoke."
He wants to smoke, dude.
Guys, say I'm in class. We'll watch later. Have a great show. #TCA DTV Sportsport. Let's go Mets. Yankees go down tonight at the toilet bowl. Yeah, right, Kev. And they're not playing at Citi Field, so no toilet bowl tonight.
How about Kev Do, though, watching the Sportsport afterwards?
Oh,
DVR action. That's sick.
You love
dude.
it.
The commitment.
You love to see it. And one other thing here before we get to the Mets' rousing victory in Miami yesterday. Wasn't it Miami? Yes, it was. It's Quintana tonight?
Yes.
Quintana versus Heel tonight. Okay. So just wanted to ask you that, get you in a good mood, Tony. But what happened yesterday? David Peterson, Lindor, a couple dingers, split in Miami. Not what you were looking for.
No.
But nice to salvage.
Yes, just like from the crosstown rivals, we do salvage the series against Miami in pretty dramatic fashion, if you ask me. This game was kind of crazy, to be honest. A couple of things I saw, I feel like yesterday, I've really honestly have never seen in a game. But obviously coming in here, Peterson coming into this game, and I didn't realize I heard Cohen, who's obviously always on top of his stats and everything for the Mets players, talk about how the last 7 starts from Peterson ended in Met victories. Obviously, after last night, that's 8 games in a row with Peterson starting that the Mets did win, which I think is something,
would that warrant if they do a revival, putting him on a future episode of Billions, or
I really got to check out that show, huh,
yeah.
dude? Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, the guy who plays Cohen, I swear to God, like he's like one of my favorite characters ever. But just like when you think Chief, like definitely him. His nickname is Axe.
Oh,
Robert Axelrod.
Oh my God.
No, I think you'll like it though. Honestly, I mean, we'll see. But because you haven't seen even a clip.
Literally, no, never. And they've won so many awards too, I feel. So it's like, I gotta check it out, I guess.
And Paul Giamatti does a good job on his end.
Oh, really? I love Paul Giamatti.
But the Axe is played by Damian Lewis, who I think you must know from what's that show? Jeez, I forgot.
Homeland.
Yes.
He was also in the Band of Brothers too. He's a good actor. He plays.
Yes. Yeah. No, you'll like it. I really think you will.
Really?
Yeah. I really do.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
What's it on? Do you know?
Showtime.
Oh,
I mean, I'm sure we can get you the password.
Oh,
Come on.
Showtime, dude. Anyway, speaking of Showtime, Mets win yesterday 6-4. Let me pull up that freaking graphic that I wrote out. There we go. Bang, baby. So 6-4 victory here. How did we get to that score? I'll tell you right now. Jeff McNeil started off the scoring. How about that? I think he had what we call it? I think 2 homers. Yeah, so this is 3rd home run of this series here against Miami. He was starting at second base last night. Vientos, excuse me, obviously got hit in the head yesterday or 2 days ago, gets the night off. So Iglesias goes to 3rd, McNeil in at 2nd. DJ Stewart started right field, which was horrible. But nonetheless, McNeil, bang, homer last night. Top of the 2nd gets starting the scoring off early. Ironically enough, Stewart was on base here, making it 2-0 right there. But then bottom of the 2nd here is where we got Brujan doubling to right and scoring Edwards here, which was kind of a crazy dude. Literally, I've never seen this before in my life. So Brujan, obviously, Edwards is, I think, on 2nd at this point. Brujan hits a ball here, and it's deep right field, like gonna hit the wall almost. But it's like it's hooking right, like hard. So like DJ Stewart, I don't know where he even was playing the field. Like he was playing so shallow. And of course he's slow, so he's running towards this ball. And everybody on the field thinks this ball is going foul. Like Brujan's like walking the first base line. Stewart is walking, pointing the ball at foul like a fucking jackass. This ball lands not foul, lands in play. The runner from 2nd was running, so he ends up scoring. Obviously, Stewart took him like 5 minutes to get the ball. Brujan realized what was going on, ends up starting to sprint, realizes how much time he has, tries to stretch this into a triple, gets thrown out at 3rd. Kind of crazy, dude. Which honestly, if Brujan was running, it probably would have been like inside the park home run.
I don't know if I've ever seen a scoring summary saying somebody's out stretching at 3rd. You would just say out at 3rd, not stretching. That's the weirdest box score I've ever seen.
Yeah, because we're almost like stretching a single into a double.
Yeah,
which,
but it's never.
But I know it really is. It kind of is crazy. Maybe ESPN. I don't know. I mean, great relay throw from Stewart to McNeil, and then from McNeil to Iglesias, thrown out at 3rd. That was a cool play.
The guy was napping.
But literally, dude, like the ball's in the air, and he's just like walking it down first base line. I've never seen anything like that. Like kind of crazy, literally, dude. And then Stewart was doing the same thing. Everybody in the field would stop, thought it was gonna be foul. Ended up being fair. Anyway, it's 2-1 just like that. Top of the 4th here. A couple of leadoff hits to put 2 men on. And then here comes Jeff McNeil. Kind of crazy. This was a Jose Iglesias leadoff triple. His first triple of the year. He's been absolutely killing it. McNeil comes up after him, gets a sac fly, RBI. So there's 1 out, obviously. But he brings the runner in, makes it 3-1. Francisco Lindor gets his 18th home run of the year. Goes yard, makes it 5-1, just like that. 4-1. Iglesias next inning hit by pitch with some runners on. So that makes it 5-1 just like that. Chirinos obviously having a tough time locating some of his pitches, obviously being very hittable as well. But we've seen that from him all year long, so it's really no surprise there. Peterson does get into a little bit, I guess, of trouble if you want to say that. Josh Bell solo shot, but hey, if you give up a home run, at least it's with no one, on the bases. Although Josh Bell continues his hitting streak against the Mets this year, which is crazy.
It's just crazy.
It's just crazy. But then that 5th inning is where David Peterson gets plucked out of the game here. But 5 innings, 6 hits, only 2 earned runs, though. 4 walks, 4 Ks, and that 1 solo shot I mentioned to Bell. And his performance was pretty solid, I guess. I would have liked to have seen him go 6, only threw 88 pitches. But obviously Mendoza, looking at him, seeing him, giving up 6 hits, a few walks here. I would say good decision to pull him after 5. I guess it's a great job for Mendoza knowing Pearson's limitations, because we've seen Pearson get stretched out to 7 innings as much this season. So good job there. Buteau comes in, does give up a solo shot to De La Cruz. Another interesting thing that happened right before De La Cruz, we had Jazz Chisholm up at bat. So it was, whatever. Nobody was on at that time. But I think it was like a 1-2 pitch, and Buteau throws a changeup that Brian was probably a good 10 inches off of the plate. Called it strike 3. Jazz was so tight.
Through
dude.
his helmet or not?
No, but you heard him scream off the mic, no, literally like right at the dude, and dude, honestly, really crazy, like almost in the other batter's box.
The other batters.
Yeah,
box.
dude.
Wow.
But hey, great frame job, Alvarez. Let's go. But nonetheless, next batter, first pitch, De La Cruz gets it back, scores 1. Just like that, it's 5-3. So the Mets look like they're tapering down the stretch. And then we actually get, for the 8th, Maton comes in, Matone comes in, clean inning, which is pretty solid. Talk about a grizzled vet that you're kind of relying on here. But then another interesting happened in between the innings here, going into the 9th. I guess the manager for the Marlins, Skip. Damn, what the hell is his name?
It's not Skip Schumacher, is it?
It is Skip Schumacher.
Okay,
yeah, Skip Schumacher got tossed in between the innings.
Wow.
And they show the replay of it. And I guess, dude, I don't know what he said, but it looks like, and I'm assuming he's arguing balls and strikes at this point because of what happened with Jazz. But he looks like he's having a conversation with the umpire. Umpire goes, well, out, just like that. And it was literally the most nonchalant, the most calm manager getting thrown out I've ever seen in my life. Kind of crazy. Nonetheless, he gets thrown out. Lindor comes up, bang, 19th home run, a little insurance run there, 6-3, just like that. Obviously, after that, I think you had a couple strikeouts from Bender, I think.
On the
Bender. Bottom of the 9th here, you bring in Diaz. Again, something kind of crazy, never seen before in my life here. Diaz does give up, I think, a walk and a hit. I'm trying to look here. Let's go to play-by-play here. So top of the 9th, bottom of the 9th here, strikes out Brujan. Gordon singles, Chisholm walked, and then De La Cruz here. So you have runners on first and second. There's one out, Brian. De La Cruz hits a chopper right to Diaz, turns around to second base, double play. Nobody's there. McNeil and Lindor staring at each other.
Who was it more on, though?
It was, it looked like McNeil was calling for Lindor to cover second.
Okay.
But I would imagine, I don't know, a chopper back to the pitcher, wouldn't the second base cover immediate? Second baseman would probably cover immediately. Yeah, it's his base, exactly. So, of course, Diaz, literally, he just was dumbfounded because it should have been a game-ending double play. Probably was hyped that he had the ball, that he saw it come back right to him. Double clutches, ends up throwing to first. De La Cruz beats it out. They score a run, and you're thinking, all right, great. Like, runs on first and second. They score and run a run. But thank God, Bell grounds out, and then Berger pops out to end the game. So the Mets do skim by here. A couple of defensive kerfuffles. Nonetheless, though, I think that's probably just at the end of the day, the Vientos being sat. McNeil hasn't played second base in probably 2 months. DJ Stewart hasn't started in probably 2 months. So, maybe that's what that was, the miscommunication on the defense. But, I don't fault Diaz for the run giving it up. He looked great. Fastball was reaching 99, the fastest we've seen so far this season. Probably at this point expecting him to get back to 100, 101 at this point, because the year started off when he was throwing 96,
So now you're back to like your full confidence with Diaz.
A little bit, dude. I would say full, but I would say 80, 85%. Again, I don't, that run given, it should have been a game-ending double play.
True.
It would have been a clean inning for him. That was not his fault. So you got to be excited about that. Obviously, Lindor continues his hot streak. He's not stopped hitting the past couple months. Same deal with Iglesias too. So
it's unbelievable. I have to say, one of the biggest surprises for me this season across Major League Baseball is the resurgence of Lindor, the leadoff spot after how dead he looked at the plate. But as a part of you think, can he really finish out the season like this? Because it's been, at this point, is it 2 months?
Literally, it has been 2 months.
Yeah.
Since he's called that players meeting, has become the leadoff hitter here. And especially, again, he got off to probably the worst start we've seen him get off to his entire career. Again, we've always talked about his somewhat steady increase,
throughout the season.
But it seemed like the way he started this year, it seemed like everything he was working towards was gone. But clearly he's picked it up. And I do fully anticipate him to continue like this pace.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem that there's anything that's indicative of him stopping.
He's going to pay dividends.
He's going to pay out dividends, and we've seen him have multi-home runs in Subway Series in the past. So I do expect him to be a factor.
Yeah, well, he's not going to be a factor tonight as the Mets get shut out.
Oh,
at
really?
Yankee Stadium, because we're due to just knock the teeth off the Mets, because I'm just sick of it. I really am. And Michael is riled, saying,
Michael
Vince
Theophil?
Barnes, is this binge buddies? Because we're
Wow,
talking about
billions, dude.
billions. Yes, yes. A little crossover action there.
Yeah. By the way, I started watching Receiver on Netflix. I think you would like it, dude.
How many scenes did you point out where you're like, okay, they definitely talked about this before?
They talked about it before. I mean, I guess some of the Devontae Adams stuff is a little bit, regurgitation because he's just so popular. But I mean, Amon St. Brown, dude, learning about his backstory is crazy. Yeah, dude. His dad is a 2-time Mr. Olympia. Dude, they were showing
Equanimous is on the Browns.
Yeah.
Not the Browns, but the Bears.
The Bears. And they literally like show like home VHS tapes of his father filming his 2 kids, 8 years old, benching like 150. And he's like, this is what we're going to do. NFL, let's go, dude. And you got to respect that.
Yeah.
It's honestly a sick story, dude.
Yeah.
Mother's from Germany. Amon St. They both speak German fluently.
Yeah. No,
Sick, dude.
It's a story you don't see told.
It's honestly jacking me up. And Justin Jefferson is cool too. They're covering him, and obviously the Adams thing is kind of crazy. I gotta say, George Kittle though, he's a little unbearable to me.
Why?
Why? I don't know. Maybe again,
the hair?
No, not the hair. I don't care about the hair. The attitude is cool. I guess he was very lackadaisical. Obviously, great tight end, all around, phenomenal, whatever. But I feel like, dude, and maybe this is just getting too far away from the football stuff. But it feels like he tries too hard, just to kind of be like that funny guy.
So you think you're funny?
Do I think I'm funny? Yeah, I do think I'm funny.
Well, if you asked George Kittle, you think he would say the same thing?
If he thinks I'm funny?
Yes.
If he hung out with me, I think he would say that. But also, I feel like they were trying to like paint him and his wife, almost like a Travis Kelce, like or like Taylor Swift. Like they were trying to like really hammer their marriage storyline, like they did even with Mahomes and Britney and everything. And I was just like, it was forced, dude.
Are they going to be married 5 years from now?
It does seem like that they're like college sweethearts. Like they're going to be all good. I think they got kids. Actually, I don't think they have kids. They don't have kids.
Okay.
But I still think they're going to be married.
One of the rare success stories.
Yeah, one of the rare success stories. And
pro sports.
Yes. And we see again, like Mahomes and Britney were college sweethearts too.
So you don't think there's any point down the line where he's just sick of it? And he's got $1 billion from playing in the NFL. He has 7 championships.
George Kittle?
No.
Oh, Mahomes.
Where he's just, or you think he does it, or does it seem like to you he's just too good-hearted of a guy to get to that point, from what you could tell?
For Mahomes, yeah, I think he is too good-hearted of a guy, and he does have a kid, right?
Yes.
So like, there's a kid in the balance. I don't think he would divorce his wife, and I mean, if he's been with her for this long, I mean,
But how do you know he's not on a road trip?
Oh, you really think so, dude?
I don't know. No, he does seem like he's not like that.
He does seem like a nice guy.
Again, he could be like slaying, honestly.
He does seem like a nice guy, but again,
right? No, I mean, that probably is 50% of the time where it seems like somebody's stand-up guy, and absolutely slaying on the road
again,
trips.
dude, like you're the quarterback of the Chiefs, like Super Bowl winning, like you're recognizable. You think there's not countless women just up to you,
You can't do that without it being noticed, though. That's the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jaguars,
you would hear about it if that was the case, I think.
Cell phone footage at the bar, grinding on the girls.
Urban
Meyer, dude, his own bar. Yeah, no, you're probably right. Unless it's like, I mean, I guess maybe they could try to keep it under wraps, but it would be a matter of time, a ticking time bomb before someone finds out.
Yeah.
So there's no way. And could you imagine the stress trying to be a fucking quarterback and then trying to hide like an affair?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it seems like they're in it for the long haul. That's for sure.
You sound disappointed almost.
No, because I feel like last time we talked about this,
big blow.
We were all like saying it's just a matter of time, like he's not gonna be able to take it. And I feel like Michael was even riled for that, actually. Not riled,
I mean, she seems like a handful, you know?
Yeah, exactly. The nagging Tony, right?
The nagging, the voice, screaming.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah, Kittle, I don't know. Kittle's wife seems very similar.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
But he didn't seem like he was getting annoyed.
See, I can't tell. Again, I try to like decipher what's like stage and what's not. But it just seems like that, they're college sweethearts and they've been married for a few years. But like the way they interact, it just seems like that they don't even fucking know each other. They do have a daughter. No, like they don't have kids.
Each other.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's like things that are staged.
Uh-huh.
and that's why they seem uncomfortable. But like to me during the show, it seems like they're uncomfortable with each other. But I think it probably is more so of just them not being used to being filmed, probably.
The cameras.
Because again, I could see George Kittle being like a weird, quirky guy where he's just like nervous in front of a camera or something. But I don't know, dude. It just seems like God.
So obviously, first of two at the stadium, Yankees Mets starting tonight. This one on TBS tomorrow.
Yes, Tony. Yes.
Actually is going to be on ESPN. But what's your thought on the pitching matchup here? Heel, Quintana. Before we get into the frenzy, I mean, what are you expecting to see out of the two of these guys? And on my end of things here with Heel, last two starts, 12 and 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 2 runs, 16 strikeouts, only 1 walk. And I think of all those numbers, that 1 walk is the most important stat of them all. And I think that is why he's found success again here with the Yankees.
Yeah, dude. And if you want to look at, some of his earlier starts, even against the Mets where he's 4 1/3, 5 earned runs,
4 walks.
4 walks. That's a lot of walks. Clearly, a man with that much velocity and intensity on his fastball, imperative to have control of that thing. And like you said, this past 2 starts, only 1 walk. So that is a huge stat. I agree with that. You would imagine he retains that control coming into tonight. If you ask me about Jose over here, I don't know, man. I mean, it just seems like against good teams, he wavers a little bit. You want to look at his last 5 starts. Colorado, on the road, not in Colorado, actually at home, 5 and 2/3, 5 earned runs, gave up 4 home runs, dude.
Wow.
Not good at all. Got totally popped. And that was an 8-5 loss against Colorado. Did great back-to-back 7-inning starts, but against the Nationals. Before that, great. Definitely rose to the occasion against Houston. I would say even rose to the occasion against Chicago too. Offense was hot. Again, another example of, I think him having run support, being more calm on the pitcher's mound, certainly. And I think that's honestly what's kind of important for him to have a good start is for like McNeil, just like we saw him last night, first pitch of the at-bat, jump on it, like fastball, hammer it, home run. Give Jose here some breathing room. But I would kind of expect a bounce-back start after Colorado.
Any concern, though? I mean, it's fastball, which is what, 89, 90, right? Or no? Is that
92?
Okay.
Yeah.
Any concern the Yankees just sip fastball and he ends up giving up 3-4 home runs over 4 or 5 innings?
I could see him maybe giving up one early on, but then probably going away from the fastball and just inducing a bunch of ground outs and pop outs. I think that should be a strategy. I feel like, I don't know about you, but I feel like Yankees do love fastballs.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, I would definitely try to stray away from that. But listen, if you want to throw your fastball first inning, maybe you have to try and establish it, try and, pinpoint, dot the line here in the strike zone. If you have that control, that's great. But second, third, rotate third round around the rotation here around the lineup. That's not a pitch he's going to be going to for a strikeout. But I would say final line, if I had to guess from him, I think he can give us 6. Maybe we see a 5 and 2/3 where he gives up a dinger in the 6th inning, like a 5 and 2/3, two earned runs, and then Mendoza, plucks him out of there. But hey, I think that he can have a good start here.
Now one other thing here, I was just kind of thinking about this, and I think they mentioned it in his last start or whatnot. But do you think, and I know this is kind of like a hindsight scenario, we're past the All-Star game, All-Star rosters and stuff, but do you think that Luis Gil got completely robbed of an All-Star appearance? Because it feels like, you go back to, the 14th of June, he has a 2.03 ERA, and then he has 3 starts in a row where he gets hammered, and then he's just not even an All-Star. And it went from he could start for the American League to not an All-Star. I mean, I don't know about you, and then he's kind of followed it up, with these last 2 performances. I think he got completely gypped in that regard.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. June was obviously really tough. I don't know. I'm just looking at his splits right now. April, March, he had a 4 ERA. Obviously, May was absolute lights out over those 6 starts he had. An ERA under 1. I don't know.
He should have been an all-star.
I guess I should look at the other all-star pitchers, but
Yeah.
I don't know, with the amount of pitchers that made the all-star team, you would imagine he could fit in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you don't go from in the conversation to start to not even being a reserve.
Yeah.
That's kind of ridiculous.
but I don't know, those month-to-month splits are very sporadic here.
yeah. But I mean, it was a long stretch of really good and then just 3 starts and then that's it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Which you
3
can't.
horrible starts.
Yeah. And really 2 horrible. I mean, the Cincinnati one, I mean, was just not good, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh my God, the Orioles 4 outs either, you know?
Yes, no, correct.
So yeah, just kind of interesting there, but obviously a very important game tonight. So excited for it. So I believe, Tony, it would be appropriate for a full-on abbreviated baseball frenzy, breaking the rules just for the Subway Series. We will both pick the same game just the one time.
Absolutely. And let's start off with that game, Brian. This is our take 2 of the Subway Series here. We know the deal, Brian, on what happened in the first Subway Series here. Similar pitching matchup we have against these 2 teams. But 7:05 p.m. TBS here. Mets, Jose Quintana against Luis Gil. You know the deal. Mets are underdogs, plus 140, just the way I like it. Yankees, minus 165 on your money line, dude. The over-under is 9.5. So Vegas expecting a lot of scoring here, which is pretty interesting. But the Mets, as we know, lead this regular season series 2-0. Both teams coming off wins. Both teams hot, I guess you could say. 1 game hot, split series, nonetheless. Earning for some more victory. Very meaningful game here. If I could go first, I would say Yankees, yes, came off a win yesterday. Big win, but we've seen flashes in the pan before in this terrible stretch of baseball they had. You're looking at, I think they had a double-digit, win against Toronto back in the day. Obviously had a couple wins against Orioles recently, but still tapering. So I don't think this one game that they won last night is indicative of how they're played tonight. I say Luis Gil can't handle the bats of the Met lineup here. And honestly, I got a feeling that if anybody's due, it's Pete Alonso, dude. Looking for his 20th, will get his 20th, the 21st home run. Francisco Lindor, I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe a top of the 8th grand salami. And I say Mets go on to win this game. I say it does take on the over. I think both these pitchers honestly get popped the more I'm thinking about it. But Mets, as I said, that grand salami in the 8th inning, Mets win 7-5.
If you didn't know better, you would have thought that prediction was made by a delusional Mets fan. Oh, wait, it was. No offense given, none taken. Anyhow, this is our time. It's time for all the Mets fans to sit down, to start crying once again, okay? I am sick of it. I've taken it on the chin for about 6 weeks of just whatever you want to call it. It's dismay. It's been embarrassing. It's been this. It's been that. But it's time that the Yankees establish themselves as one of the best teams in baseball and blowing the doors down of a mediocre Mets team. Jose Quintana doesn't make it to the 3rd inning, Tony, giving up 10 hits and 7 runs over 2 2/3. Aaron Judge with 2 homers. Juan Soto, another 2 homers, as well as Austin Wells, a 6-inning grand slam. Yes, Tony, it's a bloodbath. It's 15-6, and Luis Gil will give them 6 innings, 2 runs, and the elusive 11 strikeouts. It's the Yankees, and it is the over. And Josh B, I am back, and I'm not going anywhere.
All right, let's go. Next game, second game here for Tony. Looking at this slate, a ton of games here, as we know. White Sox, Rangers, not touching here. Jordan Montgomery, I didn't even look at any other game. Doesn't really matter. Stroh's got beat by the A's yesterday. It's so embarrassing. I may take a page out of Brian's book. I say give me the Dodgers against the Giants here. Obviously Jordan Hicks looks like for the Giants, on the mound, 3.79 ERA. Landon Knack who's a 1-2 record, 3.23 ERA. The Dodgers going through it with some injuries nonetheless. Ohtani still hitting 30 home runs, 313 average, 70 RBIs, running for that MVP conversation here. We know the Giants, did lose last night to the Dodgers 3-2. I think this game over under is 8.5. A lot more hitting, I think, by the Dodgers. Will it go the over? I say yes. A night of overs from Tony. Why not? Ohtani, certainly another dinger. We know Freeman can hit well also. And I say the Dodgers get their 5th win in a row by the tune of 6-3. Dodgers in the over.
All right.
What do you got?
Good selection there. I am going to go with the Seattle Mariners. A tough loss to the Angels last night, but they do have the advantage here. Logan Gilbert matched up against Jose Soriano. Gilbert's been outstanding this year. 6-5, 2.79. Can Seattle score enough is -175 favorites. Total, in my eyes, set way too high at 7.5. I think the Mariners will win this game on the heels of 7 strong from Gilbert. No runs allowed, striking out 9. And the Mariners shut out the Angels here 3-0. Mariners under. Tony's next game, final game.
Final game, best game, third game here.
Because it's the Yankees Mets. It's the best game tonight.
Well, maybe you might let me say that tomorrow morning, dude.
You will not
be saying that tomorrow. Let's go to the Phillies here. Minnesota, they are in right now, 7:40 p.m. Second game of this 3-game set. Twins won yesterday decisively, 7-2. Will be different, though, with a Mr. Zach Wheeler on the mound. Talk about someone who's going for the Cy Young, probably for the 3rd year in a row. It seems like he's in the conversation, possibly the 4th. 10-4 record, 2.70 ERA. Absolutely killing it this year for the Phillies, which is why they're 63-37 here. Over under 7.5. I would imagine lower scoring, perhaps a full game shutout from Zach Wheeler as the Phillies ride the coattails of an Alec Bohm, maybe bases clearing triple. Phillies win this game 3-0. Phillies in the under.
Thought it was the night of overs.
I changed my mind.
I'm going to go with the Pirates. They're one of the hottest teams in baseball. They're going up against Mr. Batting Practice himself, Lance Lynn, who's on the hill for the Pirates. The legend, Paul Skeens here. Pirates heavy favorites at -180. I think Skeens strikes out 15 Cardinals over 7 innings, no runs allowed. And how about O'Neal Cruz, a 4th inning grand slam? He's been on fire. Shout out Josh B. Said to be patient. I kept him on my rosters, didn't drop him. Been playing the Tony dividends for my fantasy teams. But that's the difference in this one. 4-0 Pirates. It's the Pirates. It's the under. Just like that. That is your baseball frenzy. And what a frenzy it was, Tony.
What a frenzy it was, is right.
Seemed like Michael enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think so. Michael was in there loving the soundbite, dude. Yes, Tony, it's a bloodbath. And how about Michael Domack coming in from left field? Just a reminder, Celtics 2024 NBA champions. I couldn't be more riled.
I mean, I don't want to call it Domack because he's the man, obviously. We enjoyed having him here. But come on. Basketball season is over.
He's a Yankee fan, for God's
sakes. Nobody cares about the Celtics. More important things, Michael. It's the next task at hand, Tony. Okay? And it's about this year. It's about winning that World Series champion, number 28. It's time. The time is now. Let's go, Michael. Okay? So enough with the Celtics. And he said, I do this and the Yankees win the World Series. Well, that's not good enough. It doesn't need to be the same. It needs to be more because the Yankees are the priorities, not the Boston Celtics.
I would be willing to bet that right now Domack is wearing that fucking Mets hat that he bought at Citi Field. That one game he went to. Embarrassing, Domack.
Complete embarrassment.
Unbelievable, dude.
Get your priorities in line, Michael, okay? Michael loving the
Mets.
The bites this morning. And I have to say, Tony, by the way, too, we talked about it pre-show, but not to everybody else. You continue to lead the picks, picking up a game last night after a strong 5-1 night versus my 4-2 night. You're 66-46. I'm 62-50, and we only have 7 days left of picks with the deadline approaching, the trade deadline and the pick deadline. What else we got from Michael? Domek?
Domax says, no way. Haven't touched that hat since. I feel ashamed. Well, if you want to give it up, what up? He says, but it does look phenomenal in the collection. It is a dope hat, dude. It's pretty solid.
I will not agree to that. On another 50 plus for Tony. 50 plus.
Old age golfers, I think, is what that would refer to.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good. I had to think about it for a second. But I have to say, I really hope that this is the start of a good run for the Yankees. Because like I said, I forgot what it felt like. I'm tired of, I feel like the past month when we've talked about the Yankees, I've been like Mike Francesa on 2 hours of sleep, Tony.
That's just beat.
In terms of energy, I want the energy back, and it starts tonight, and we can't let the Mets beat us. We can't do it. We won't do it.
You will do it.
And
they're gonna lose.
The big blow. Sure. After the past, 6 weeks, how could I be 100%
the big
confident?
blow?
But I just think it's a breaking point, and we didn't like what happened last time at Citi Field. Luis Gil is riled. Soto is riled. Volpe and Wells are riled. And we're not going to let Jose Quintana beat us and then be on Billions next week. It's not happening, Tony. Not going to allow it. Not going to stand for it.
Not going to lie. Not going to stand for it. Can't do it, dude. It is pretty interesting that the over-under's at 9.5. I didn't expect it would be that high.
They're expecting the bats to be hot.
Clearly.
I think they're expecting 10 off Quintana, honestly. That's why.
I think they're expecting 5 off each.
Come on. And we did talk about this. I'm trying to think if it was before the show yesterday, maybe. Love, and I don't think we talked about it on the show though, but love that we're back to 6 games between the Yankees and Mets next year.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about it.
Yeah,
that's gonna be sick. For now, 2 series, 6 games. Let's go, dude. That's fucking sick.
Yeah, I don't know why it ever needs to be different. And I don't think this is the case, but every year they should have one of those series on September 11th. I don't know why, like that weekend or maybe they want it to be a weekend.
Yeah,
but I just think that just makes the most sense and puts even more meaning on the game than there already is.
Yeah, dude. They always, Mike and I went there, I guess it was 2 years ago now, for the 9/11. It might have been 3, honestly, for the Subway Series on 9/11. It was phenomenal. They do obviously first responders stuff. Bobby V, Joe Torre.
Yes.
We're at the game, dude. It was dope, dude. It really is. And I mean, not for nothing, it's a freaking packed house. Like, of course everyone is going. Like, come on, dude. But still stoked about the 6 games things, because I feel like ever since they were doing the 2-game sets, it's been freaking, for the most part, splits.
Yeah.
Which is, having 3 games creates some juice.
Yeah, exactly. And I
just sweep 2 games.
I need a Mets beatdown. That'll really, Josh B was saying I'm back. That will really bring me back. Especially too, if there's another mention from Dave Rothenberg that I'm better than Grasa, as Michael Theophil happens to mention that. So another bite that he loves.
And that is a quote, by the way. Yeah. Okay, from Dave.
Directly from the horse's mouth. So obviously you love to see that. And really, other than that, Tony, is there binge buddies tonight?
Oh yeah, binge buddies, 8 p.m. You know the deal. Manny back in the saddle here.
First time, long time?
First time, long time. He went to Disney with his family, a little vacay with the kids and everything. The whole airline thing. He was stuck there for 3 extra days and stuff. So finally he's back and whatnot. So excited to have him in studio. Going to be talking
the shark
receiver from Netflix. Probably Billions. A little bit of Suits. Maybe I'll catch an episode of Billions if I have time today. Maybe
Harvey Specter, Tony.
Oh my god, dude! So I put on
favorite character.
Dude, I couldn't believe when. I mean, I guess really Harvey probably at the end of the day. I don't know. It's so tough, dude. I mean,
does it make you crack up?
It does make me crack up, dude. But they just fucking. I had it on yesterday while I was like kind of packing up and stuff, and they fucking fired the redhead girl.
Oh, okay.
After I'm like season 2 right now, I think.
I've only seen maybe 5 or 6 episodes.
I'm
way
really,
behind,
dude?
And like Sam is kind of in between about it. We've watched some episodes. We're trying to in between stuff watch it, but I like it. Honestly.
Yeah, dude. It's entertaining.
I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm pretty sure. I'm guessing anyway that she ends up,
Coming back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
would think
she's
so.
in this thing the
She's
whole
in the new,
time.
yeah, because I've
Probably
seen her
just some
in
window
promos.
dressing.
Yeah, definitely, dude. But of course, all dramatic and shit. Like, and then like she doesn't say anything, just walks out with her box. It's like, all right, dude.
Bigger chief, Aaron Rodgers or Louis Lent
Oh my
or whatever.
god, dude. I mean, I hate Lewis's face, dude.
So you're gonna go with Lewis?
But I mean, I think for now, if Rodgers doesn't perform well though this season, he's the bigger chief for sure, dude.
And why is it kind of a last thought of the day here, Tony? I kind of mentioned this before, but why do you think he gets a free pass for his lack of winning?
Rodgers?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, if I had to guess, it's because he is a great quarterback. I mean, at the end of the day, he is someone who can go on the field, command an offense, change a game. And I also think that people love him too because he is like a true like just throwing quarterback. Like he's not someone who's scrambling a ton, who's speedy, runs around. He's in the pocket. He steps up. He fires missiles. And I mean, he does have the Super Bowl. One Super Bowl can make or break your career, honestly. So I think that's why he gets a pass. It's because it's Green Bay too. I think it's his story coming up underneath Favre, waiting under his tutelage, mimicking his style of play too.
Yeah.
I think that's why he gets that pass.
But I don't think that's right. And then not to mean that I'm coming after him, and not to mean that I don't enjoy watching him play and think that he's so talented, but I just feel like all those like losses to the 49ers and just coming up short, like what the hell?
I mean, do you think he's a Hall of Fame worthy quarterback?
Yes, but it's just like I think he's far removed, unfortunately for his sake, from the all-time great conversation simply because of the lack of winning in the postseason.
Now, I feel like too, again, like looking at Brett Favre, another quarterback regarded as, Hall of Famer, greatest of all time, one of the greatest quarterbacks. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Favre's career was similar. No, it taped off with the Jets. It got even worse with the Vikings.
But I think the difference is you look at the numbers, Rodgers far
worse. Oh,
Favre in terms of production,
right.
Way less interceptions, more wins as well. So that's why it's like, you thought that with Favre, but at least with Favre, it was like, well, I mean, he throws a lot of picks. You can see him getting into trouble that way. Rodgers doesn't do that, but he still came up short. And it's like,
okay, I see what you're saying now.
It's less than half the amount of picks.
Honestly. No, yeah, probably. But I'm just saying, like Favre, I feel like did kind of get a pass towards the tail end of his career as well, just because of his, career.
And I'm simply saying I think it's just because Rodgers is better. So it should be a higher standard.
Should be a higher standard for Rodgers. Okay, I like that.
Way more talented, honestly. Not that Favre didn't have a great career, but you see it. I mean, it's like, especially when he had Adams too. I think that whole situation unraveling. I think the Packers as an organization kind of blew it there. Should have found a way to work. That combination was, I mean, maybe the most unstoppable combination I've ever seen, or at the very least one of them. Because it just seemed like every time he's open, he finds him. There's no drops. There's no incompletions. It's every single time.
Like that ball's on a rope, dude. Literally. Yeah,
on a rope.
Think we'll see that again?
No. But Adams, I don't know. He wanted to be a Raider. He wanted to play with Carr. Last for 1 year. Now Gardner Minshew, comeback player of the year.
I don't want to hear it. No. Minshew and that organization, stop it, dude.
Better
He's
chance
be doing
to make the playoffs as the quarterbacks as the full-time starter all season. Daniel Jones with the Giants or Minshew with the Raiders?
It's a great question.
Minshew all day for me, not even flinching. Tony.
I don't know, dude.
Minshew to Adams. You're telling me you can't see that combination really working?
I mean, again, like who the fuck is Daniel Jones throwing to?
Well, they did get Neighbors. Malik Neighbors will be a good receiver. I know you're not up on your college football, but he was very good at LSU. LSU wide receiver university. He's gonna have a big impact. But I do also agree that Daniel Jones sucks ass.
And also Devontae Adams, like greatest receiver in the league.
Is he really at this point, though?
I mean,
no, I mean, maybe there's good, but I'm saying like there's competition at this point.
Of course, Justin Jefferson, you want to talk about too. Of course, like he's in the running. But I mean, even look at interviews, how other players even see him. They still regard him as one of the top receivers in the league. And again, I mean, he leaps and bounds to any receiver that the Giants have.
Well, and honestly, I think we all would like to see Adams in a competitive environment, right?
Yes.
I mean, that would be amazing. It's unfortunate that we don't get that. It's funny. I got a notification. I don't know if you just got the same one, but it was saying the Yankees are brushing off recent comments from former teammate Luis Severino, who said that the Yankees only have 2 good hitters.
Yeah, did you see that? Apparently, it was said in like a group chat or something.
But also, that's a mistake on the Mets' part. That's bulletin board material, as they say. So you will see that tonight, Tony.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like, it's not like it's not like McNeil is saying this in the locker room, like after last night's game. This is Severino in a private group chat, dude.
Still said it.
What are you, are you Mr. Jinx now?
No, I'm just saying you don't awake the beast. And I think after that win yesterday, the beast, Tony, is awoken. And that's something we'll find out later. Dude. And I think it's good that you have binge buddies as a distraction later. So just, things don't go your way. Quintana hammered. At least you'll be dialed in with binge buddies.
Come on, are you kidding me?
You can see it. You have a vision deep down. You see the vision.
I'm worried about Jose.
Yeah.
But I was worried about the pitching matchups in the last Subway Series too.
Different part of the season.
Yes, it was different.
Everything's on the line. It is.
Yes. But still, I mean, I have enough confidence that we'll come out of this and the Subway Series will be probably 3-1.
I have enough confidence.
It'll be 2-2.
2-2 for the 100th time in a row.
Yeah, literally.
And closing out here, Matthew Gabriel. Garasa is the absolute worst. Talking about a bite. We could definitely save that one for a while. And I have to say, too, Tony, shout out today. Obviously all the comments and interaction. We love that. But it seems like a very big day on X for the sports. So tons of viewers viewing us from that platform. We love to see it. We encourage everybody to continue to tune in and to like, to comment, to subscribe, and check out all of the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume. The merch at downtimetv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day. Enjoy binge buddies. Let's go Yankees! And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.